Right now, looking out on the U.S. Capitol, where attention will focus for the next 2 days, lawmakers are hoping to avoid a government shutdown, but it seems both sides remain far apart. Joining us now is NBC Washington correspondent Alice Barr. Good morning to you, Alice. A meeting is set between the president and the top 4 congressional leaders. Is there any hope for a breakthrough from these discussions?
Stranger things have happened. You know, it's always possible. The fact that they are sitting down and speaking is certainly a big step in the right direction, because just last week, President Trump was scheduled to meet with the top Democrats in the House and Senate, and he wound up canceling that meeting, saying that he felt like the Democrats' demands were outrageous and that he didn't think it was worth sitting down to talk. So the fact that he will meet with those 2 top Democrats alongside the top Republicans today, again, is certainly an improvement. There's no question, though, that they are very far apart, and the key sticking point is that Democrats want to see some of the health care cuts that were made, cuts to Medicare, Medicaid that were made through the Big Beautiful Bill. They want to see those cuts reversed, and they want to see Obamacare tax subsidies extended, because those are set to expire at the end of the year. And Republicans are saying this is not the time for that. They just want a short-term funding bill extension. So that right now is the major sticking point that it's going to be probably kind of tough to get past.
House Republicans already passed a short-term spending bill, but they need help from the Senate. What's the latest on that option?
Right. So the Republicans in the House don't need any help from Democrats to get something passed because of the way the rules are set up. They have a majority and they can pass it with a simple majority. So they passed just this short-term extension to get through November 21st. And the House Speaker, who's a Republican, of course, is saying that that is just a means to keep the government open and allow more time for more robust negotiations between the 2 sides, especially on this question about health care. He said, Mike Johnson, the House Speaker, said there just isn't time to sort out what is a pretty in-depth issue there between now and the time that the government is set to shut down tomorrow night. So that's the House. In the Senate, you have to have 60 votes to get something like this across the finish line, and there need to be 8 Democrats, in fact, that would be willing to sign on in order to pass that. And thus far, the Democratic leadership is digging their heels in the Senate. And if you look back to the last time this issue came up, Chuck Schumer, the top Democrat in the Senate, said it's too important to keep the government open. We need to get on board with this. And he went ahead and supported extending funding so that the government wouldn't shut down. He took a tremendous amount of heat for that after the fact, for not sort of taking a stand in that moment. And now he's been leading the charge to say, we're not doing that this time. They're trying to use what leverage they have to at least, I guess, sort of show that they have some fight in them.
Yeah. The White House is alerting the federal agencies that a mass layoff or mass layoffs are also coming if the government shuts down. Now, is the president playing with fire here, or just a move to try to get things his way?
So that's the continuation of the very issue that Chuck Schumer was worried about the last time that this situation arose, that if there was a shutdown, there were to be fair, the last time this happened, that was at the peak of the DOJ cuts, and he was saying if we allow the government to shut down, they're going to lay off all these people. It's too important. We have to keep the government open. So here we are now again, and essentially the same gauntlet has been thrown, that if the Republicans saying to the Democrats, if you allow the government to shut down, we are going to cut workers. And President Trump himself said they'll cut a lot of people, and it would be on a permanent basis. But Chuck Schumer, other Democrats are calling that a scare tactic, and they're saying, look, you're going ahead with cuts to federal workers, whether or not there's a shutdown. So don't try to use that as a kind of a bargaining chip here.
All right, Alice Barr, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.